But that's basically with this, I want to introduce our guest for today. I'm here with Henrik Fabrin from BotXO.ai, and the folks at BotXO have a very interesting product. It's an AI chatbot platform for businesses. And if you scroll through their website, you will see that they have some pretty impressive results in terms of the performance of their platform. Even in comparison in regards to platforms such as Google or other providers that are out there. So BotXO is essentially a multi-award-winning platform, to help companies to get into the conversational space. Henrik himself, he is basically the co-founder and CEO of the company, and he is, an AI advisor, keynote speaker. So you might have, seen him a couple of stages in regards to conversational AI, the web, conversational commerce, and obviously entrepreneurship and business strategy. So Henrik, I'm very pleased to have you on the show. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the very good introduction.
Very good. So maybe, obviously, I hope I didn't butcher it, but tell us about, BotXO in your own words. What is it all about?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you're right. It's a conversational AI and chatbots that people know us for, and we view ourselves as a conversational AI platform where you can build different kind of conversational experiences, especially for commerce, and that's the type of companies we focus on. Retailers or D2C brands that build and launch and sell their own products online.
Gotcha. And can you give us a bit of background? How long have you guys been around? Maybe, I don't know, the amount of clients you're working with, something that, characterizes BotXO a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So we launched the first version, minimal, nearly lovable product in October 17, and then we've been live since early 18. We've been here for 2 years now. We grown from having customers locally in Denmark to serving customers 16, 17 countries around the world, including US. And yeah, of course, the past years also we've seen a massive growth, of course, as a lot of the interactions have shifted online for many businesses.
Yeah, that's super interesting. What would you say is the typical kind of client, and also maybe as a caveat to it, what was the types of businesses that you were seeing to start joining the conversational marketing space, within the last year?
Yeah. So we started as a general purpose platform, and that means we had municipalities and finance and e-commerce brands, everyone building stuff on our platform, but very fast focused in on e-commerce because we could see a huge opportunity there. So the first version was sort of like spaghetti, where you throw out and see what sticks. And then luckily we built up enormous database of intensive pre-made content for e-commerce, so they can get started with our type of technology really fast. And we're really good positioned for when COVID happened. And when COVID happened, we saw some really, really interesting things. Some of our customers, let's say within fashion and other industries, they saw a huge dip in sales online. And then there was others that flocked to our product because it was like Black Friday every day for them. So they had to do something to cope with that sudden rush of consumers. And then they built and launched their own versions of AI chatbots on our platform to serve their customers.
Very good. And what would be the typical use case, right? Let's say an e-commerce company, how would they leverage BotXO on their website, and what would be sort of the task that the AI will be taking over?
Yeah, very good question. And it's sort of kind of a crossing the chasm kind of question, where the original pull in the market was very much on customer support. Hey, please help us reflect some tickets and hopefully answer questions 24/7, etc. And that was sort of where we started. But we also had a lot of customers using it for product recommendation, for example. This is very interesting. If you can, increase your conversion rate by 400% if you use the bot to help people buy more from you online. And so that is sort of the other side of the chasm, where it's still early adopters that are focusing on, okay, now we answered closed tickets and we solved that. Now, how can we use it to also increase revenue and help our customers buy more from us? And that's sort of where we are focusing right now. And of course, COVID has helped drag more companies into actually being very interested in this. And this is really for us where the big opportunity is, because we think that within customer support, and it's sort of very fast become commoditized to have this time bot, and then you have a different success rate, different variations depending on what technology you use and how great you have implemented it. But it's the other one, it's the revenue and driving more sales. It's really much more interesting for companies.
Mm-hmm. I see, super interesting. Especially, with that new companies joining sort of the bandwagon of the AI platforms, what would you say is a typical journey somebody goes through in order to become a client? Or in other words, what's the typical client acquisition channel that, how they hear about BotXO, and finally to get started?
Yeah, so we're lucky enough to have around 95% inbound, and then we just benefit from the general interest in the company. And then we've been doing pretty well on SEO. And social media, and then we have some large, really interesting partnership, tech and sales partnerships with companies like Zendesk and others, where they are actively out there pushing up our product as a combination of theirs, so they can combat Intercom and Salesforce, etc. So of course that's a good opportunity for us. So when they come in, they're really motivated for trying out technology. But the challenge is 99% of them have never tried it before. And if they try something, it was a bad experience with a bad bot. Yeah. So part of what we do is really help them get started fast and see fast time to value, because once they see that, then they stick around for a very, very long time.
Makes sense. What role would you say does your own website play in that orchestra of client acquisition?
Yeah, well, it's one of the touch points that's always there, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say we have been under what do you call that? We've been not focusing enough on it. Mm-hmm. So we're actually doing a ton of new stuff and building new stuff and coming out with new ways of using our own website, using our own technology to manipulate websites, etc. in the coming months. That's been really exciting. So it's a central point, but we have neglected to let's say take our own medicine, so to speak.
Makes sense. What should people expect? Like, how would BotXO feel and be experienced like on your own website going forward?
Yeah, so you will be able to see right now our website is much more of here's some relevant information, here's some highlights, some logos, some social proof, etc. But very, very little about the actual experience. We want to make that really interactive, and for you to be able to actually use and build and try the product as if it was yours.
Gotcha.
On the website before you actually go in. And then you can either go talk to our sales people, or actually just do full-blown self-service yourself and then get started.
Very cool. Like, and do you see the use cases of the AI more in the sort of within products or more on websites? Like where is BotXO, really being leveraged?
Yeah, so it's a good question. And it's predominantly on websites, focusing on end customers. So we're a B2B2C company, really. Mm-hmm. When we launched, we thought it would be like everyone else thing in our space. It would be like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp that would drive the traffic. Mm-hmm. But we're very happy to see that it's 99%. It's on companies' own websites, and that fits our vision, because while technology can help you drive brand differentiation and personalization, and that's really important in a world of super big aggregators like Facebook or Amazon, that where they sort of reduce they commoditize the brand experience and focus on ease of use. But if you then want to do something special for your customers, you want to bring them into your own web properties. So that's really where we focus, and we try to solve it using our type of technology.
Very cool. If we come back to the product, right, what would you say is sort of the main competitive advantages? I alluded to the fact that you're comparing against a couple of different models actually on the website. Like, where do you see is sort of, a difference, and how would you make it tangible for people to understand?
Yeah. So function feature-wise, we're based out of Denmark, and we have headquarters in Denmark and we have in Spain. And so, and you guys are Germany, you also know that it's very difficult with all these different languages that we speak in Europe, right? Mm-hmm. And so the technology, our conversational AI or NLP technology, have been underdeveloped there. So it's an opportunity for us to really go out and say, okay, we're going to solve that problem, that cold start problem. So where we have a lot of advantage right now is that we're really, really good at understanding what people want and how they feel in ton of small European languages. And small is also German and Danish. If 50% of the internet is English, then all their languages is the rest.
Yeah.
That, and then it's a whole approach on, it's new technology to most people. Where the people who engage with us first are line of business people. So they need to be able to nearly take it off the shelf and see value super fast. But then it also needs to be a tool that's really integratable for the developers as they want to go. So we have a user interface really easy for a line of business, but everything on this is actually just a bunch of API services that you can use and configure as you want. And that's some of our advantages that we see over competitors. Okay. And then it's also value that we understand what value we provide to customers. And it's two things, if I may mention. One is, of course, the results. Either you sell more or you handle some tickets, right? But it's also data. So you guys are in this space as well with collecting first-party data, right? But so we do the same zero-part or first-part data that you cannot collect unless you engage with an end user on your website. And that's the second part of the value that we provide to our customers. So, and they can use that together with recommendation engines or email marketing and the bot. So, and that's really, really valuable data for our customers. They were not able to actually collect that before.
Very cool. If we would be looking behind the curtain a little bit of BotXO, right? Like, how would you say is like sales and marketing structured? Like, what's the structure that you guys have been, evolving towards to?
Yeah. So, like I said, we've been really lucky that most of it has been inbound. So our sales team has been really small, and it's been up until now. It's been structured very much on every sales rep doing end-to-end sales. So we don't have had the traditional BDRs and then tech consultants and then A's and closers. We've had like end-to-end, and then we've been focusing early on building partners up. So partners stand for quite a big share of our inbounds and our deals, and doing co-partnerships selling with Zendesk, for example. And then in marketing, well, of course, we early on, we had to get our brand and name out there. And so SEO was used a lot and content. But here's from December last year, we sort of split marketing up in two and have two phenomenal people leading. Bea, who leads brand, because brand is a differentiator. Also in SaaS, it has to stand for something very specific. She heads that. And then we have VP Marketing, Harding, who comes from Zendesk, who stands for our entire demand generation and growth in that sense. So we believe we have brand as high up as sales and traditional marketing and product, etc. It is really, really important.
What would you say? I mean, for example, having set up a partnership with Zendesk is not an easy feat for a growing company. What could you tell other entrepreneurs and SaaS leaders out there in terms of establishing those partnerships? Like, what has been the way that has been successful for you guys?
I think that ultimately it's a matter of fit and a matter of share of attention from the partner. So Zendesk is still slightly bigger than us, right, and have slightly more customers than the ARR, but we solve something that they can't. So they have their own simple chatbot version, but as soon as they want something more complex, we fill that gap. Gotcha. And that means that they need us to help customers not go to Salesforce or Intercom, but also potential customers to win, right? So we then work very closely together with their AEs and customer success and figure out how can we add value to them more than how they add value to us, because it's pretty simple. There's a lot of customers. So if we fit in there, then we have taken away 90% of our competitors. So it's really about figuring that out. It's not enough to just have an app in a large company's platform. It won't win. You have to really lean into it. But by leaning in, limited resources, you also say no to other types of partnerships. And there's certainly some partnership that we thought we could just sort of do with our one hand, but because we didn't lean into it, it didn't have the effect we needed. So we sort of have to close that path down.
Makes sense. We had a lot of conversations on the podcast for SaaS providers in collaborating with marketing agencies. What's your take on that?
That's a very good idea. I see agencies as for good and bad very opportunistic. So whatever is the newest thing that they can sell or build or do billable hours for, then they're very happy. So if you want to engage with agencies, you want to make sure that your product is something that they really lean into and think, okay, this is something that we can build our a new business line on top of. Mm-hmm. For that said, it's obviously good, but they're also very, if it's not sticky off the bat, then they go to the next thing, because they have to, right? It's consultancy, so they have to switch and navigate what is the latest trend and where can we help our customers out.
Very cool. Yeah, I want to slowly switch into learning about you personally as a leader. Just one last question, because obviously SEO is always a great topic. What's something that surprised you, right, in the journey to building up that SEO strategy? Maybe it was one learning that you can share with the audience that you've, maybe surprised yourself, or something, that you found very valuable in that journey to set up a SEO strategy for BotXO.
I have to be honest, it wasn't me who set up SEO strategy. I'm a generalist, so I understand why and how these things work, but I haven't done it myself. But I can share something that surprised me with this company, mm-hmm. as opposed to my previous one. The mm-hmm. previous one was I was the domain expert. Everyone came in, taught everything from me, so it's very top down. Mm-hmm. This way around, I tried to be the dumbest one here, to hire really, really good people that then have a lot of authority and self-motivation. But that also creates a whole little kind of challenges, because then they have a lot of opinions and where to go. So then I'd be really verbal and clear on why we're going this direction and how, and try to figure out how to challenge whenever someone said, no, it's this direction. And that's a different challenge. So
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Interesting. As I mentioned, I want to learn a little bit more about you. What's the type of content that you choose to consume, and how do you sort of filter what do you actually read on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I consume a lot of podcasts actually, but I try to do it in a way where I don't have podcasts in my ear every single day. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a great media for learning. Mm-hmm. So, and the things I consume are things that interest me, right? So business strategy, how's the internet evolving? What can I learn from adjacent industries and how people have done that successfully and hadn't done successfully, and these type of things is really. And I use podcasts the most, and then read posts.
Very cool. Since we're slowly coming to an end of the interview, I would love to jump into our rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
Oh, so it hasn't been rapid fire until now? Oh my God.
No, that was the slow mode, and now we're going to rapid fire.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'll step up.
Very good. Awesome. So what's the last book that you read?
I'm reading something about energy, from dawn of man up until nuclear energy.
Mm-hmm. Super interesting. What's the one single thing, in your opinion, that BotXO is focused on the most at the moment?
Talent density in our company.
Mm-hmm. If there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed for your company today?
Much more massive scale use of our technology.
Very good. And the very last question would be actually, if you would be rejoining, right? So today is your first day, you're stepping into the office, working, or maybe not even the office back then, more like the co-working space or the garage of BotXO. What's the one advice that you would give yourself?
Oh, Jesus. Focus on e-commerce rather than doing general purpose in the beginning.
Very, very good, Henrik. I really appreciate that you took the time with us today on the Pathmonk Presents interview. I want to give you the very last word, right? If somebody would be forgetting everything that we discussed about BotXO today, what would be the one thing that they should remember about the company?
Well, that we're here to help companies sell more and sell better online, basically.
Very cool. Thanks for being part of the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.